Now the shares of Nio are trading down 1.6%, while the shares of Xpeng are trading down 5%. Now, what's going on, people? Xpeng just reported their Q3 earnings, and boy, I must say those earnings were really looking good. I mean, gross margins increased to 15.3%, and the guidance which they gave even smashed the kind of guidance which Wall Street was expecting. But yet, with those good solid earnings, we are seeing Xpeng share price down 5%. In fact, down more than, or trading down more than Nio. Now, one of the things that might be resulting into Nio not dropping as much is, of course, the good news shared by the Nio president of saying that they are still looking at penetrating 25 countries, or to have total countries outside of China penetrated by the end of the year next year to still be 25, which this is of course a good 25 countries. It's still good because it will unlock some quite number of good sales, which is why I think that is good news, right? So this might be part of the reason why Nio it's not dropping as much as what we are seeing Xpeng dropping. Now this whole thing makes us wonder how the Nio stock price will perform tomorrow, because tomorrow is a big day for Nio. They'll also be announcing their Q3 earnings, and so many of the Nio investors are patiently waiting for those earnings, for those results, and seeing Xpeng reporting pretty good solid earnings and yet drop 5%. We now wonder if tomorrow we'll see a short squeeze or not. Or some of the Nio investors are wondering if tomorrow we'll see a short squeeze onto Nio or not. And I must say, based on what I just observed onto Xpeng's earnings today, I really don't know anymore, because Xpeng reported pretty good solid earnings, but yet they are down 5%. So going to Nio tomorrow, I've got an open mind to say that even if we see pretty good solid earnings, we might see the very same thing that is happening on Xpeng today happening on Nio tomorrow. But that does not mean Nio is a bad company. I mean, I've noticed today, because of this week and last week's insurance registrations, is some of the Nio investors are looking so tired. They don't want to hear anything about Nio just because of the insurance registrations we received in the last 2 weeks. This is what investors feel. Some of the Nio investors are saying they've had enough. It cannot be 3,800 for Nio. It cannot be 4,800 in total for Nio combined with Onvo. It's not possible. It's too low, which I agree with you, but this does not mean that it's the end of the tunnel for Nio, or is the end of the road for Nio. Nio is still a very good company which is set for greatness with some strong fundamentals. Yes, right now we might not be getting the figures, the numbers we want, but Nio's growth is real, man. I mean, Q3, the very same earnings that Nio will be reporting tomorrow, Nio sold over 61,800, which has never happened since Nio's existence. And tomorrow, what will be important, of course, is to see how Nio performed and the guidance that they will give, right, for Q4. I mean, Xpeng, still talking about Xpeng. Xpeng gave Q4 guidance of between 87 and 91,000, and I know for Nio to get to these kind of figures might be very difficult, but I know if Nio can give us anything around 70,000, this will be good, and it will be pretty optimistic onto the Nio investors. There are those that are saying 70,000 is still very high. They don't think Nio will get that, but I suppose we'll find out tomorrow. This time by tomorrow, we will be knowing the amount of vehicles which Nio is expecting to deliver, not only now in November but also in December. We will know that, and boy, I must say we are counting down because we want to see the kind of performance that Nio pulled. We're hoping that the gross margins came as good. So yeah, man, this is what we are seeing today in the markets. Xpeng, though they reported good earnings, they're down, but hopefully Nio tomorrow, they don't get to be beaten like this, right? Hopefully we see Nio gross margins going back to double digits. And again, I will say this again, I will emphasize this again. So many of the investors or Nio retail investors are panicking because of the insurance registrations that Nio has been getting in the first 2 weeks, or in the last 2 weeks, which, I mean, I understand, but we can't really conclude on Nio based on 2 weeks. We cannot really say Nio it's down, Nio it's dead, Nio it's gone, Nio is going to bankruptcy just because of 2 weeks. we still need to give them some time. But because anyways, Nio is a company that has been doing very well in terms of sales. The last 6 months, Nio has been delivering over 20,000 deliveries, which is something that is pretty exciting, because out of the 6 months, 5 months, Nio models were selling over, of course, 20,000, which was amazing. So awesome to see. And one thing that we learned about October deliveries, though they came lower than 20,000 for the Nio models, is that gross margins, Nio was able to generate more 100 million RMB, more gross margins of $14 million, more gross margin, which that it's amazing. And that obviously it's what we want to see. I think gross margins are much more important than deliveries, and if it takes Nio to deliver not so much but have higher gross margins, I think as investors that is what we want to see, because what matters is the gross margins. What matters, or what carries more weight, is the gross margins and not the actual deliveries. Yes, deliveries they will get with Onvo, Firefly, but Nio better keep, we want Nio to keep the gross margins, because if they don't do that, we are going to end up struggling getting to 20%, which is Nio's target to or which is what Nio wants to get themselves to, which we all look forward to that, man, because that is when we know, when we get to that, that is when we'll know that we might see profitability coming around, right? We might see profitability, we might see Nio also generating some very good profits because of that, because of the gross margins sitting at 20%. So yeah, man, this is what we are seeing. Tell me what you think about this. I'm very curious. I'm also a bit worried about what we might see, especially seeing what happened to Xpeng today. Xpeng did well, Xpeng is doing well, and hopefully Nio also put on a good show for their investors, for everyone that has been against Nio, and make sure that they provide, or they do well in terms of their Q3 earnings, which they are announcing tomorrow before the market opens. So tell me what you think about this, man. I think blue sky is coming. Long term will win. Ignore the day-to-day movement, ignore the insurance registrations, the weekly insurance registrations, but rather focus on where Nio could be in terms of deliveries for the whole quarter. I know right now it might be tough. I know right now things might not be going that well when you look into insurance registrations, but I still believe in this company, man. I will soldier on and I will remain long and strong, because I know 2025, it is the year we hit profitability. Q4 2025 is the quarter we hit profitability. This is my projection, this is my prediction, and I still stand by that. And therefore, those that are ignoring the day-to-day movement and taking the low trading prices opportunities to load will definitely be rewarded. And of course, what you do with your money, it's up to you. I cannot tell you what to do, whether you are buying, selling, increasing your holdings. It's up to you. That is up to you. But as for me and maybe other investors, we are going to continue taking the low trading price as opportunities to load more. Blue sky is coming. Long term will win. Don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. That's all from me, and God bless you all.